Have you ever seen a global superstar suddenly become the center of a storm so intense that fans around the world can't stop talking about it? What if everything you thought you knew about originality, artistry, and identity was suddenly questioned overnight? Right now, something explosive is happening, and it involves none other than Jungkook. Yes, Jungkook, the golden magne, the global icon, the artist millions admire. But now, a shocking accusation has surfaced, one that is shaking the fandom to its core. Is Jungkook copying Western music styles? Or is this just another misunderstanding blown out of proportion? Welcome back to Jungkook Lover, the place where we uncover the truth behind the biggest stories in the BTS universe. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates that everyone is talking about. Because what you're about to hear might completely change how you see Jungkook's artistry forever. It all started quietly, almost too quietly to notice at first. A snippet of music, a short clip, a performance, something subtle, something that only the most observant fans picked up on. But within hours, whispers began to spread across social media platforms like wildfire. Comparisons were drawn, screenshots were shared, edits were made, and suddenly, a narrative began to take shape. One that claimed Jungkook's recent musical direction was heavily influenced, or even suspiciously similar, to Western artists. But is influence the same as imitation? That is the question that now divides millions. As the discussion grew louder, fans from all corners of the world started to analyze every detail. The beats, the melodies, the vocal delivery, the visual aesthetics. Nothing was left untouched. Some pointed out similarities in rhythm patterns that seemed reminiscent of popular Western hits. Others highlighted stylistic choices in choreography and fashion that aligned closely with global pop trends. And then came the boldest claims of all, that Jungkook was no longer leading, but following. The reaction was immediate and intense. Armies rushed to defend him, calling the accusations baseless and unfair. They argued that music has always been a universal language, one that transcends borders and cultures. They reminded everyone that K-pop itself is a genre built on fusion, blending influences from hip-hop, R&B, EDM, and pop from around the world. To them, Jungkook was not copying. He was evolving. But critics weren't convinced. They pushed back harder, questioning where the line should be drawn between inspiration and imitation. They asked whether global success comes at the cost of losing originality. And most importantly, they raised a controversial point. Was Jungkook adapting his style to appeal more to Western audiences ahead of a major global comeback? This is where things became even more complicated, because behind the scenes, there are whispers of a massive project. A comeback that has been anticipated for months. A moment that could redefine not just Jungkook's career, but the future of BTS as a whole. And in such a critical moment, every move, every sound, every concept carries enormous weight. Could it be possible that Jungkook is strategically aligning his music with global trends to dominate international charts? Or is he simply expressing himself in a way that naturally resonates with a broader audience? The truth is, Jungkook has never hidden his admiration for Western music. From his early days, he has openly shared his influences, often covering songs by global artists and incorporating diverse styles into his performances. Fans have always celebrated this versatility, calling it one of his greatest strengths. So why is it suddenly a problem now? Timing. Timing changes everything, because this isn't just any moment in his career. This is a turning point. Expectations are higher than ever. The spotlight is brighter, and the scrutiny is relentless. As more clips surfaced, the debate took on a life of its own. Some fans began to feel conflicted. They loved Jungkook, trusted him, believed in his talent, but they couldn't ignore the similarities being pointed out. Others stood firm, refusing to entertain any criticism, insisting that Jungkook's artistry speaks for itself. And then there were those who simply watched, curious and uncertain, waiting for clarity in a situation that seemed to grow more complex by the hour. Industry insiders also began to weigh in, adding fuel to the fire. Some experts argued that the global music landscape has become so interconnected that stylistic overlaps are inevitable. They explained that with the rise of streaming platforms, artists across the world are influenced by the same trends, the same sounds, the same cultural shifts. In such an environment, distinguishing between influence and imitation becomes increasingly difficult, but others disagreed. They warned that in a highly competitive industry, originality is more important than ever. They suggested that even the perception of copying could impact an artist's credibility, especially at the international level. And when it comes to someone as influential as Jungkook, the stakes are even higher. Meanwhile, fans continued to dig deeper, uncovering old interviews, past performances, and previous releases to build their arguments. Some found evidence that supported Jungkook's consistency as an artist, showing that his current style is a natural progression of his musical journey. Others pointed to specific moments that seemed to align too closely with Western counterparts, raising more questions than answers. And yet, through it all, Jungkook himself remained silent and no statement. No clarification, no response, just silence. And in that silence, the speculation only grew louder. What does it mean? Is he ignoring the controversy because it's baseless? Or is he choosing to stay quiet for a reason we don't yet understand? Some fans believe that his silence is a sign of confidence, that he doesn't feel the need to defend himself against unfounded claims. Others worry that it could indicate something deeper, something that has yet to be revealed. But perhaps the most intriguing possibility is this. What if this controversy is part of a bigger picture? What if the conversation itself, this global debate about influence, originality, and identity, is exactly what brings more attention to his upcoming work? Because one thing is certain, the world is watching. Every move Jungkook makes from this point forward will be analyzed, discussed, and debated. His next release will not just be heard, it will be dissected. And whether the accusations are true or not, they have already changed the narrative surrounding him. The question now is not just whether Jungkook is influenced by Western music. The question is how he will respond to this moment. Will he address the controversy directly, putting an end to the speculation? Or will he let his music speak for itself, proving his artistry in a way that words never could? And what about the fans? Will this divide continue to grow, or will it ultimately bring them closer together in defense of the artists they love? As the days pass and the anticipation builds, one thing becomes clear. This is more than just a controversy. It's a defining moment, a test of perception, loyalty, and understanding in a global fandom unlike any other. So now, we turn the question to you. Is Jungkook truly crossing the line between inspiration and imitation? Or is the world simply misreading the evolution of a global artist who refuses to be confined by borders and expectations?